Hi everyone, my name is Kaylee and welcome to my channel. So today I want to talk to you about how I got into UCLA and my first quarter experience. So to give you a little background information, I grew up in a small town in Southern California, so I was an in-state applicant. I'm going to share my stats with you all because my stats do not align with the stats that UCLA posts for incoming freshmen, and that did really scare me when I was applying. So I want to share mine with you so that you get a more realistic view of what some incoming freshmen come into UCLA with. So I had an unweighted GPA of 3.8 and a weighted GPA of 4.1 when I applied to UCLA. I took 6 AP classes. I took 3 my junior year and 3 my senior year. Granted, I know a lot of UCLA students take more than 6 AP classes, but my school did not allow us to take more than, or they didn't allow us to take any AP classes before our junior year. So I think UCLA can see that and does take that into account when they look at everybody's applications. So I took 3 APs my junior year, like I said. I took AP Calculus AB, AP US History, and AP Lang. I only passed AP Lang and AP Calc. I got a 4 on AP Calc and a 3 on AP Lang. However, I did still get credit for AP US History because I got an A both semesters, and that's how UCLA looks at AP US History particularly. So that was really nice. And then for my SAT score, I got a 1360. I got a 680 on math and a 680 on English writing. And I know that is lower than the average at UCLA, just like my GPA was. And then for extracurriculars, I think that's where I may have stood out a little bit more. I was pretty involved in high school, so I was on my cheerleading team for 4 years. I did play soccer for 1 year. I was in my school's associated student body. I was in my school's National Honor Society and in a service club for 4 years. And I did hold positions in a lot of these different clubs. And then I also worked for 3 years, my sophomore, junior, and senior year of high school, while I was going to school. So it was a summer job, but it also was in the spring and the fall. So I think that did look somewhat impressive to the school because I was balancing work, extracurriculars, and school. And then in terms of my essays, I wrote for one of my challenges. I kind of took a different spin on this, and I wrote about how I'm very introverted and how that kind of held me back in school a little bit. And I talked about how I worked to overcome some of my introverted qualities that held me back, and I practiced some extroverted qualities to kind of get myself some positions and kind of help myself stand out more in school. So that's basically the rundown of my application. I can share my essays with you all if you would like. I'm not sure if that's something you guys would like to see. That might just help you get an idea of where you want to start with your essays. So to get on to my first quarter at UCLA, I took Intro to Poli-Sci, Intro to Gender Studies, and an Environmental Bio class. I did not have to take English or Math this quarter because I did test out of those 2 subjects with my AP Calculus test and then my AP Lang and AP Lit test combined. You have to pass both of those tests to test out of English. So my 3 classes, I really enjoyed all of them and I did well in all of them. I ended up having a 4.0 for my first quarter GPA. So some tips on how to achieve that GPA. You really need to take the time and study. Dedicate 4 hours a day, maybe 3. It really just depends, but I think I put in around 4 hours each day. Excluding the weekends, I would look at my stuff occasionally on the weekends and maybe write some essays, but really Monday through Friday I sat down, I put my phone in my desk drawer, and I told myself that this is the time that I need to study. So I did get a 4.0, and I was very happy with my grades. I got 2 A pluses and an A. So my grades so far, my GPA was better than my GPA in high school. So don't worry too much when you go into college about your GPA dropping. You just really have to stay on top of all of your work and be confident in your work, and you can achieve a good GPA at a good school. So some tips for applying to get into these good schools is to start early with your applications. I did not start my application until the week of Thanksgiving break, which was the week that the application was due. So that was not a good choice on my part. I had to write the essays quickly. I had to get them revised quickly, and I could have spent a lot more time on my application, and I could have been a lot more proud of it and more confident in what I was turning in. So I do advise that you start early. In terms of the SAT, I took it one time, and then I used Khan Academy to, they kind of broke down my SAT score and saw which areas of the SAT I didn't do so well in, and then they gave me some practice specific to the areas that I didn't do well in, so that did help. And when I took it the second time around, my score was higher than the first time. I don't advise you taking it more than 2 or 3 times just because the test is so expensive, and if you have to take it 3 times, then you really probably aren't studying or giving it your best effort. So just take it 2 times, try really hard, and save yourself the money and the time. And then in terms of GPA, I did apply to UCLA with 5 Bs. So do not worry about having a B or a C. Just make sure that you're taking challenging courses and that you're doing well in comparison to the rest of your class. And you will still stand out to UCLA as long as you're improving and taking challenging courses. They will still really consider your effort, and you will still be a competitive applicant. That's really all I have to say. Thank you for watching my video, and let me know if you would like me to share my essays with you all, and I will do that.